is up, everybody? It is CJ Plays here, and I'm back with another Sims 3 video. Today, I'm going to be ranking the Sims 3 expansion packs. Now, before I get into it, I just want to say, it is okay if my favorite expansion pack and your favorite expansion pack are not the same one. Don't get upset. Let's just talk about it in the comment section. This is my opinion. This whole entire video will be like my opinion on how I feel about each expansion pack. I have broken down the categories to like just 3 main categories. I have pristine, which just means that I feel like I need it in my game at all times. I want that expansion pack to just be in my game. I have okay but, and that basically just means it's an okay expansion pack. However, there are just things that I don't really like about it that's keeping it from being in pristine for me. And then I have get it on sale, which is the lowest ranking. Get it on sale just basically means it's not my favorite expansion pack. I mean, I feel like, personally, I want all the expansion packs in my game regardless, but, you know, for me, it's not a must buy, it's a more of, you know, if you want it, get it when it's on sale kind of thing, right? Okay, so let's start off. So first we have World Adventures. Now, World Adventures for me, it's not my favorite expansion pack. I don't really travel in The Sims 3 because The Sims 3 and traveling doesn't really go hand in hand sometimes. Sometimes the game just does weird things, but when it works, it works. The thing that I really think about this expansion pack that really like amazes me is the fact that they were actually able to fit 3 nice sized worlds into one expansion pack. And not only that, this was the first expansion pack for The Sims 3, so like this was like showing like Simmers what packs could be capable of, in my opinion. And I think that, you know, it was pretty decent overall. The thing that really gets me about Sims 3 and Sims 3 World Adventures is the fact that it's kind of like as for like the main features of like, you know, one of the main features of like getting like treasure and that kind of stuff, it's the same exact system in each world, just with like a different coat of paint. So for example, you know, you have Egypt, you have like the pyramids, you have like the tombs in China, and then you have like the chateau in France. You know, it's different, you know, they are kind of different, but overall it's the same like system of just, you know, doing puzzles to get treasure. And then of course there are other things, like you have the martial arts competitions in China, you have photography, you have nectar making in France. So there are different things, and there are like more, you know, it's different things to do, and of course it's The Sims, you can be creative as you want to be. But for me, it's not my favorite expansion pack. If I had to rank it, it's going to go in the get it on sale. You know, it's not bad, but it's not my favorite. I don't really use it that often. Alright, so next up we have Sims 3 Ambitions, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this in pristine. I love Sims 3 Ambitions. I want this, like I said, this is that pack that I want in my game at all times. Give it to me right now, hand it over. This pack comes with, I think, 8 different careers, but there's like more than 8, but like I guess there's like 8 main careers, I guess. Like they're all active, so you have like firefighter, you could be a ghost hunter, you can be a stylist, it could be an investigator. That's just a whole lot. I really like this expansion pack. There are some, and then of course, wait, before I move on, and, and on top of that, this pack also comes with skill careers. So if you want to like make money by fishing or painting or whatever, you could, or like gardening or whatever, you could definitely do that with this expansion pack, which to me is amazing, because even if like, it just goes to show, like, even if you didn't want to do like an active career, you could still make money. You know, you don't have to have a rabbit hole career if you didn't want to. One thing that I don't really like about this expansion pack is a lot of the careers are bugged. So like, for example, the ghost hunting career, it's kind of bugged. I've had it say like, you know, go to this house and get rid of like 5 ghosts, and my sim would literally get rid of 1, and then all of a sudden, bam, it's done. Or when I was doing the firefighter career one day, it was saying like something along the lines of, you know, rescue the Sims, put out the fire. Okay, well I did all of that, and oh and behold, the time kept like ticking, and I ended up failing it, even though everything was done. So, you know, it's not a perfect expansion pack, but it's one of my favorites, and I feel like I need it in my game at all times. So for all those reasons, I'm going to be putting it in pristine. So next we have Late Night for The Sims 3, and I'm just going to get the things that I really like about this pack out the way first. So you have different types of bars. You have like dive bars, sports bars, local watering holes. There's some lounges. There even like are ones for like vampires, which I can appreciate that. I like bars in The Sims in general because they're just great ways to meet other Sims, and it's also a good way to, like, you know, let off some steam and to dance the night away. And then you can also use them kind of as like mini restaurants, because you can actually order food at bars. So I mean, you know, restaurants without actually having like the business as usual bistro. But anyway, I don't mind. I don't really mind late night. Like I'll have it installed, but there are things that I don't really like about late night. So for one, the biggest thing that gets me about late night is Bridgeport. I love Bridgeport. It's beautiful. Trust me. I know. I like it, but it's kind of laggy. And on top of the lag, you have a lot of routing, weird routing, I would say, because it takes Sims a while to get places, depending on where you want to go. So if you want to go somewhere across the map, 9 times out of 10, your Sims will probably get into a taxi, or they may try to run, or they may take a subway, or they may drive. It's just weird. I have instances where my Sims were living like outside, like on the outskirts of Bridgeport, and I had like kids and they had to go to school. I kid you not. The kids would get on the bus at 8. They would not reach to school until about 10. Which isn't that big of a deal, but like I've noticed it, right? But anyway, so this pack also does introduce, apartments, which apartments are nice. Again, Bridgeport does tend to lag, so it is kind of annoying at times, but they are nice. And it does, and the lag isn't like unbearable for me, but it's noticeable. But I do like apartments. One thing I don't really like about the apartments, however, is the fact that if you want to go visit other Sims, you have to actually like buzz them, and they'll come out of their house. Like you can't really like go into the house, as far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong, but you can't like go into like another Sim's house that lives like in your same complex. Like it's kind of weird. University did kind of like improve apartments, so like we have those kind of apartments, but like if you don't have that pack, it's kind of weird how apartments work. And also this pack has vampires, which I appreciate vampires. I don't really have anything like negative to say about the vampires. I kind of wish that we would have like they would have either kept them to this pack or just saved them for Supernatural, because like the fact that we have vampires twice is kind of like in my opinion, but whatever. Um but something that I really don't like about this pack is the fame system. I don't like the fame system in Sims 3. It's not my favorite. I've had so many Sims become famous by literally just talking and just living their life, like not even me trying. Before I know it, like I just have a regular Sim, and before I know it, they're leaving in a limousine and having paparazzi show up. I don't know. I don't like it. I feel like that should have been saved for Showtime. Same thing with the band system, because there are bands in late night, which are cool. I like having like little side things to do in The Sims anyway. But I just kind of feel like it should have just been saved for Showtime. Showtime and late night to me are like two sides of the same coin, and I'll say more about it when I get to Showtime. But overall, I don't mind late night. I would definitely say get late night just for the bar system, so you can have like actual bars in your game and stuff. But other than that, I'm just not a fan of the the lag in the city. I love Bridgeport. I'm just not a fan of the lag. Like I could do without the lag. But for all those reasons, I'm gonna put late night into okay. But it's a good expansion pack. It's not pristine for me because of the routing and the lag, and I don't really like the fame system that much. You can't turn it off. Like you can turn celebrities off, but I just don't like it that much. But I'm going to be putting it in okay. But it's an okay pack, but routing, lag, all that. Anyway, next we have Generations. Generations is gonna go in the pristine. I love Generations. It's one of those expansion packs that I feel like I just want it. Like I don't need it in my game at all times, because I could put base game if I had to. But if I had a choice, I would want it in my game. Hand it over, put it in my bag. I'm gonna put it on my computer. Like I'm really here for Generations. Now, there's a lot of things that I like about this pack. It does better improve family gameplay. You have midlife crises, you have memories, imaginary friends. A lot of good things going for this pack. You have prom, but there are some things that I don't really like that much about Generations. So for the biggest thing that comes to mind when it comes to Generations for me is prom, graduation, after school activities, and after school activities. I think that's it. Maybe and field trips. To me, all of those things could have literally just been in the base game, because they are rabbit holes. Like, in my opinion, we have like active like bachelorette parties with this pack, which I appreciate. I don't understand why we couldn't have at least gotten like, if not active graduation, active prom for teenagers, because I don't know, like I'm glad that we have it in the game general, like at all. I'm glad we have it, to begin with. But I kind of would have liked it to at least be like interactive to a degree or something. Like literally, I would be okay if like prom just operated like regular parties and stuff, or like the teen party or something. Like I would be fine with that. But it's a rabbit hole, and I don't really understand why like it had to be a rabbit hole. In my opinion, since it's a rabbit hole, it could have just been in the base game. In my opinion, that's just how I feel about that. We also have imaginary friends, which again, I named that as one of the things that I do like, but that's also one of the things that I don't like about Generations. Imaginary friends are fun and cool, and I do like how like it's just like an odds that your kid will have an imaginary friend or they won't. But they are really glitchy and buggy, and I've had so many imaginary friends like break on me, from me just playing with this expansion pack over the years, and eh, it's one of those things I feel like you have to decide. Do you want to risk, your game file acting weird if your imaginary friend breaks, or do you just want to like go without using it? Like, I feel like it's one of those things that like you have to decide early on, especially if you play with like a lot of Sims and like say like for example multiple like a lot of your kids have like imaginary friends. I feel like it's just one of those things that you have to like take into consideration because when they work, they work. I like the fact that you can actually turn them into actual Sims. I like the fact that only your kid can see like the imaginary friend. But when they don't work, they break and they're laggy and glitchy, it's not fun. Another thing that really irks me about this pack is the memory system. It's so nice. Like I like the memory system, but it's one of the reasons why the game has a lot of like if your sim has a lot of memories and multiple sims have a lot of memories over time, it kind of contributes to save file bloat, which isn't fun. You can turn memories off, but you kind of have to have them turned off before you play like a new save file. Otherwise, it's not really going to do you much good. And even then, I've heard that even if you have like memories turned off, sometimes like if you have them turned off in the options, sometimes it doesn't actually turn them off. So I think there's like a mod or something that you can download to help with that. But it's just one of those things where like I feel like it's a cool feature and I'm glad we have it, but I just wish that it worked. But overall, I really do like Generations. I feel like it's one of those packs that you just need, especially if you love family gameplay. There's just so much with this expansion pack. You have pranks, you can sneak out, it's just a lot. So for all those reasons, I would definitely say get Generations, especially if you love family gameplay. For me, it's in pristine, and yeah, that's pretty much it for that. So next up, we have Pets. Pets is also pristine for me. I love Pets. For one, you have Appaloosa Plains, which is this really nice world. The world is tailor made for with pets in mind. So you have like a lot of space for like horses to run around. There's a lot of collectibles you can get like for dogs, and cats can hunt prey and stuff. They can do it in any world, but just Appaloosa Plains is just tailor made for pets. Okay. So this pack, it does introduce cats, dogs, and horses as like playable pets that you can actually have in your household. There also are minor pets that come with this pack. So you have like lizards and birds and reptiles, stuff like that, and rodents, now that I think about it. But yeah, the three main pets, cats, dogs, and horses, are pretty fun to play with. I kind of wish that you had more things to do with dogs and cats, because I feel like horses have like horse competitions, right? I kind of wish that dogs had maybe like dog shows or like cat show. Are cat shows a thing? Or maybe just pet shows in general. Like we had like pet shows, I kind of wish that you had that, because otherwise, other than that, dogs just are dogs. Like they're there to protect the house. You can train them to hunt. Every dog can hunt, which I kind of like that. And they can hunt for like not jewels, gems and like metals and stuff they can hunt for, which is pretty cool, and it's a good way to make money in The Sims 3. Cats can also stalk prey. So like think like the minor pets that I just mentioned, like snakes, reptiles, rodents, and all that. Cats are able to like actually stalk and hunt those, and you can either keep them as pets or you could sell them if you wanted to, which I think is cool. Horses can dig around. I think horses can find the seeds, I think, or like harvestables. I'm not sure, but horses can dig around. But like the big thing with horses is, to me, is you have horse competitions. There is a breeding system in this pack, so you can like breed the cats, dogs, horses to make like kittens, foals, and puppies, which is cool. But I kind of wish that there was like a big way for like something bigger for dogs and cats to do, other than just stalk prey and look cute. Horses have horse competitions, which are a really good way to make money. I like the fact that you can actually train horses up to be like to participate in the shows. Really, really good in my opinion. It is a rabbit hole at the end of the day, which does kind of I don't mind it being a rabbit hole, because I feel like it's just one of those things that you kind of want to be done, one and done, over with. But it would have been nice if it was active. But anyway, another thing that I do want to point out is Pets. I feel like is one of those expansion packs that kind of pushes your game a little bit past, I don't want to say past its limits, but it kind of puts like more into your game. Like I've noticed that when I wasn't playing with pets and was playing with pets, my computer was doing a little bit better. Like I have a good computer now, but back when I wasn't playing with like on a gaming computer, I just noticed it. I feel like it's one of those things, especially since this pack introduces, pets to your world. So you'll actually see like, someone's dog walk across the street, or a stray cat, or something like that. So this fact that you have like, extra things running around your world, other than just regular Sims or celebrities or, supernaturals. It's just one more thing that like puts more strain on your game after a while. And of course there are mods to help with like, the routing, like you have the in-rounds mods and stuff. But, I kind of wish that they would have, figured out a way to make it not as taxing on your game. I've had instances where I've seen like two puppies get on a boat. I think I was in Riverview. I had two puppies get on a boat. The boat would go a little bit and then it would turn right back around, go back to land. And it would just do it in a circle, in a circle. And I was like, I noticed it from map view and I was like, well, what is that? And I zoomed in. It's literally just two puppies just going in a circle. And I'm like, this is part of the reason why my game is probably lagging. So, it's not a perfect pack. It does have some issues. But for what it's worth, I really like having pets in my game. I feel like pets just help complete my families. I really like it. The fact that you can actually like make money with pets. It's an added bonus, especially if you have like the school careers and stuff. So yeah, for all those reasons, Pets goes in pristine for me. I would just say that if you're like, your computer maybe isn't the best or the most powerful computer out there, I would just, maybe if I play with pets, maybe don't play with a lot of packs, or, I'll let you figure it out. But I'm just letting you know. So next up we have Showtime. Showtime for me is automatically get it on sale. Showtime is just not, it's not my favorite expansion pack. I feel like Showtime has a lot of cool ideas that I feel like I feel like some of the ideas in Showtime may have been like left over from late night, or they just couldn't be put in late night for whatever reason. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing when like ideas are left over, because if they're left over, in my opinion, they probably have a better chance of being improved on. But I kind of would have wished that late night would have just stuck to like nightlife, partying, apartments, even vampires. Like if they would have had all that, great. Celebrities, in my opinion, should have been held off until Showtime. I think if we would have had like the celebrity system in Showtime, it would have made a lot more sense, in my opinion. It would have made a lot more sense, in my opinion, because with Showtime, you actually have 3 careers. You have the acrobat, magician, and singer career. And I mean, I feel like that just would have been better. And then the fact that you can actually go on tour, like your sim can actually go on tour to other Sims games with Showtime through Simport, it's pretty cool in my opinion. I like the idea of that. I would have liked also maybe if bands were taken from late night and put into Showtime, because bands and singers, it goes hand in hand, right? And I kind of would have wished that bands could also go on tour, or like go on tour with a singer with Simpoint. I'd imagine, I'm pretty sure maybe this was something that was looked into. If I had to say the reason why it wasn't put into place, it was probably, maybe it was budget related or something, but I kind of feel like and probably was more like a technical thing as to why bands couldn't go on tour like by themselves or with singers. Sims 3 is what it is, so I feel like having a lot of Sims move around between two people's games like in 2012 was probably not, the best thing to do. So I'm kind of glad that it doesn't exist, but it would have been nice, right? Like in an ideal world, I would have been happy if that was the case, But for what it's worth, there are things that I do like about this expansion pack. You have genies, which I think are cool way to like a cool life state in this pack. There are the mechanical bull. I like that when you could put that in like different clubs and stuff. There's just things that I do like about this pack. The clothing, for example, is something I like. I think that this pack has some really good clothes, especially for male Sims. That's something that I can appreciate. But overall, the careers are cool. I do like the fact that you actually have to go and audition to get a gig, which is realistic. But at the end of the day, you will see your Sims do the same performances. They'll sing the same songs. Even Simfest is kind of repetitive at times. I think it's nice that they actually included it so you can actually have something for your Sims to do. Don't get me wrong, I like that. But it is kind of repetitive. Simfest does last for a while. So you don't have to stay like through the whole performance. But if you were to stay, you would be there for a while. But it is kind of repetitive at the end of the day for me. So yeah, and then you do have Simport. I've never personally tried Simport, so I can't say how well it works today. But I heard that it was kind of like that it didn't work the best when it first came out. I don't know if it ever was fixed or not. But for all of those things, overall, I don't think Showtime is a bad expansion pack. It's not my favorite. It's probably my least favorite one for The Sims 3. I just feel like it had cool ideas that could have just been better improved if, the pack was either like, if some of the features were just taken from late night and put into Showtime. I feel like the pack would have been stronger in my opinion. I feel like I don't know, the fact that you have to have both of these packs to actually have like the celebrity system work with the Showtime careers, it's kind of in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like both of these packs are like the two sides of the same coin. I don't know. But for what it's worth, it's going on. It goes into the get on sale for me. Don't think it's a bad pack. It's not my favorite. Get it if you want it. For me, it's a get it on sale type of thing. Next up, we have Supernatural. Supernatural is pristine. Supernatural, I'm going to go on record by saying, is my favorite expansion pack for The Sims 3. I love Supernaturals. This pack really made me love Supernaturals in The Sims in general. Because at first, I didn't really like play with them too much. I think they were just cool. Like, don't get me wrong, Supernaturals are cool. Like, Occult Sims are cool. It just wasn't something that I played with. I was more like family oriented. But this pack got me out of that, okay? This pack made me want to play with vampires and witches and fairies and werewolves. Like, this pack made me want to do that. The amount of things to do in this pack, the amount of items in this pack, I love it. I love Moonlight Falls. Get this pack. I'm not going to go on a big tangent. Get this pack, okay? You have fairies, witches, vampires. Again, if you don't have vampires late night, you have vampires this time. Werewolves. I'm probably missing one, but get this expansion pack, okay? Get it. There's so many cool features. I love the alchemy skill. I love the fact that you can actually go to like an actual like elixir shop to buy potions if you don't want to make them. Pretty cool. Yeah, I just love this expansion pack. Like, I don't know what else to say. Just get it. Get it. It's my favorite. Just get it. Okay. One thing I will say before leaving, the occult sims are cool, but I think the occults in the Sims 4 are like, especially like the vampires in Sim 4, I think those are better than the ones in the Sims 3. Because I like the fact of like in the Sims 4, you like some of the occults have like they have tiers, so like you can like have them become like, you can have them like one vampire have this specific trait or skill, and then maybe another vampire doesn't have that, you know. It's like a skill tree. I kind of like that better for Sims versus just having like, you know, at a certain point, all vampires will be the same in The Sims 3. All fairies will be the same once you have them do everything. Like, once you like max them out, they kind of are all the same. And into like a certain extent, it's also the same way in The Sims 4. But at least in The Sims 4, you can kind of pick and choose what skills or traits you want, you know, your particular occult to have. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. But for what it's worth, I still love Supernatural. It is a pristine pack, in my opinion. Definitely go and pick it up if you love occults, or if you just want to try them. Definitely get it. Next up, we have Seasons. Seasons is also pristine for me. I love Seasons. I love Seasons in Sims 4. I love them in all games, okay? Seasons, in my opinion, it just gives you that sense. It gives you the sense that time is actually passing in your game, which is something that I can appreciate because, you know, don't get me wrong, I love nighttime and daytime in The Sims, but Seasons kind of just throw something extra into the mix, okay? It makes me feel like, you know, today is going to be different from tomorrow, or it was different from last week. That's something I can appreciate. I kind of would have wished though that the weather was kind of coded a little bit better, because I've like, it's kind of annoying for me, like if you have like a wedding, you're planning a wedding for your Sims, and all of a sudden it just starts to rain. I don't know why that is. I don't know if that was intentional or if that's just a weird bug in the game, but it's something that I've noticed. I've also noticed that too, that the weather kind of puts some extra strain on my game. I've noticed that when it's snowing a lot or if it's raining a lot, my game tends to stutter a little bit. So I would definitely say, you know, same thing with pets. Get it if like, definitely get the pack if you want it and your computer can support it. But if not, I feel like this may be one of those packs you may have to play with this, you know, maybe 1 or 2 packs. You know, I feel like, you know, it's one of those things. Again, I'll let y'all figure that out. But that's just something that I've noticed with my personal gameplay. But yeah, for what it's worth, I really love this expansion pack. You have the festivals, which are cool. You have the holidays, which are really cool. The items are really nice. The Kaz items are cool. Yeah, overall, it's a pretty all-around expansion pack for me. I want this in my game at all times. Definitely get this expansion pack. And if your computer can handle it, and if you want it, I would definitely say pick this expansion pack up. It's a must-have for me. Next up, we have University. University, I want to put it in pristine because I love it. But there's some issues that I don't like about it. So for me, it's going to go into the okay, but. Overall, I love University in The Sims 3. I think it's a nice challenge. I feel like at the end of the day, I wish it would have had more to it. Like, so you have class, like you go to class and you study. But I would have liked, you know, for Sims to actually have like projects or homework, like nightly homework, kind of like how The Sims 4 works, or even like The Sims 2 with like the turn papers in The Sims 2. I would have liked something like that with University. I find myself whenever I have Sims go to university, it's one of those things where like you have to choose: do you want to party or do you want to study? Which, Don't get me wrong, super realistic to actual college. Trust me, it's super realistic. But I mean, it's a video game at the end of the day, and I kind of would like a little bit more leeway. I feel like no matter what you do, I feel like sometimes no matter what you do, you are just in the graces of the green like progressive bar at the end, like on the side of the screen, like your progress bar. Because I feel like literally no matter what you do, you are in a constant struggle with that bar. It's gonna go down regardless. If you go to sleep, when you wake up, it's going down. Even if it's a little bit, it's gonna go down. The only time it does not go down if you are like if it's the weekend or like your Sims get ready to go home. Other than that, guarantee that bar is going to go down. So you need to study, you need to go to class. I feel like if you have more classes back to back, then it doesn't go down as bad as it would if you only have like spaced out classes with university. But I mean, again, it's realistic. There is a nice challenge with this expansion pack. I kind of wish that this pack would have had some more polish when it comes to like getting invited to parties, because it's kind of annoying in my opinion when you get invited to a party and you say, I'm not gonna go. Like, thank you for inviting me, but I'm not gonna go. And then like hours later when the party is done, you have some get a text message saying, oh, well, we missed the party. I'm like, duh, you had to study. What are you upset about? Yes, we missed the party because you had to study. You have an exam coming up. Like, what? You know, I don't know if that was like intentional or just like an oversight, but I kind of wish that would have been like fixed because it is kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying, but overall, I really do like the university. I think that is a cool expansion pack. I love having university, especially when I do like play with families and stuff, and maybe like the oldest child is getting ready to go off to university, and you know you don't want to like stop playing with the families just yet. You want to keep that sim around for a little bit longer. So you were like, okay, let's go play. Let's do university really quick because I want to keep playing with you. I kind of want you to still be a part of this household. I don't want you to leave just yet. I think like things like that are really cool. Like it's really cool to have that kind of stuff in. If you're playing with, like families and stuff like that. I don't know. I really like university. Definitely get it. It's not a pristine for me because I don't really use university that often. I used to play it around with it a lot a couple of years ago, but I don't really do it as often because the fact that you have to travel. And traveling is what gets me. Traveling in The Sims 3 is kind of weird in my opinion because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've had Sims go to university, complete a entire like semester or term or whatever, and not be able to go home. Whatever reason, the game says, hey, it's time to go home. My Sim just doesn't go home. And the only way to fix it is to drop out and come back. But when you drop out, you know, you lose all that progress, which is kind of annoying. Again, if you love university just to love it, then you probably don't mind it that much. It's something that I do mind because I love university, but I kind of want to do other things. The fact that you actually have to travel to university and you kind of like are cut off from the rest of the main game is realistic, but I mean, I kind of would have liked a little bit more leeway, maybe like an option to like put down like a university rabbit hole in your town or something. I know there's like mods for something kind of like that, but I would have liked it officially. But for what it's worth, I really like university. I don't think it's a bad expansion pack. Like I like it a lot more than late night, but it's not pristine for me. So it's gonna go into the okay, but next up we have Island Paradise. This is a get it on sale for me. I know that a lot of people don't like this expansion pack because it lags a lot. And trust me, it does lag. The Eron's mods do help, but mods can only help but so much. This expansion pack, in my opinion, was an example of an expansion pack being a little bit too ambitious. Island Paradise is great. I love the fact that you live like on this nice archipelago island with just beautiful scenery and water and just a lot of things to do. You have the hotels. I mean, not the hotels, the resorts, which are cool. I love doing those, but it's one of those things, in my opinion, where the idea was cool, the execution was not. At the end of the day, this pack is really laggy. Mods do help, but not that. Like, they can only help us so much. And the fact that there are other things that you can do, like you can download the fixed world, or you can delete this household, or delete like the house posts. All those things are great. I'm glad they exist, and I'm glad that they help with the overall performance of Isla Paradiso. But at the end of the day, I feel like personally, as a consumer, I shouldn't have to rely on mods to get my game to work, or rely on like deleting things to get my game to work. In my opinion, it should have worked as soon as it came out. You know, I know game development is hard. Sometimes things can't be seen, or they're just overlooked, or they'll put off to be fixed later, you know. But the fact that this expansion pack was literally the 10th one, and we only had one more that was coming out in a couple of months, which was Into the Future, and this was just never fixed. And then after that, it was, okay, well, Sims 4, let's just move on to the Sims 4, and the problems were just never fixed. Kind of hurts me a little bit, especially since you can still technically go into stores today and pick up this expansion pack. Okay, to me, that's an issue. I kind of wish that that wasn't the case. I could see if this was like The Sims 2 and like, you had to go get it on Amazon or something. But no, you can still buy this pack in the stores. At least at the time of this video, you can still go and get this expansion pack into the store. Like literally all Sims 3 expansion packs, you can pick them up in the store. I wish that this was fixed. Okay, lifeguard system. Like, I love the lifeguard career. I love the resorts. I love the fact that you can actually dive in the water. You have mermaids, and there's a lot of cool ideas here. And I just wish that the pack didn't lag as much. I did play in this pack recently on Twitch a couple of months ago, and the lag wasn't as unbearable as I thought it was going to be. Again, I did use the in-rounds mods, so that may have had a factor, that may have played something into it. But again, it is a playable world. I'm not going to sit up here and be like, oh, it's so unplayable. I just can never, it's definitely playable. I just wish that it would have worked a little bit better. I feel like it was a little bit too ambitious because, I don't know. It's cool to look at, it's cool to play in, but it's just that lag that gets me. But for all those reasons, I'm just personally going to say, get it on sale. I do love it. I want to put it in the okay, but technically I want to put it in pristine, but it's just not there for me. So it's going to go into the get on sale. So last but not least, we have Into the Future. And for one, I really like this expansion pack. I think Into the Future is good to have if you just want something to do in your game, something just different. I really like Into the Future. It has a lot of nice things. For one, it's time travel. Like, yes, we have time travel in the game now. Like, what? So you have time travel, and you also can work on plumbots, which are similar to simbots. However, plumbots are a lot more customizable. You can actually, you can edit their appearance however you want. You can pick different templates. You can also change their traits, have them have different traits. Very cool. I mean, literally, you could have a robot butler if you want to, a robot maid, or a robot nanny. Very, very cool. Yeah, so this pack just has a lot. For me, the biggest reason why I don't really use this expansion pack a lot is the fact that you have to actually travel to get to the future, and I don't really like the idea of doing a lot of traveling back and forth in The Sims to begin with, because, again, it kind of contributes to, like, your save file being kind of bloated, and it's just, I don't really like the idea of it, and the fact that traveling in The Sims 3 doesn't really work the best all the time is part of the reason why I don't really use Into the Future that much. The items are great. Like, literally, if you use Into the Future items and maybe like somewhere like Lunar Lakes that's kind of like futuristic or sci-fi-esque, the items are great. Like, I love a lot of the items that came with Into the Future. They look really nice and modern and futuristic, and they're just really unique, and I like that aspect of this expansion pack. However, I just don't really play with Into the Future that often. The clothing is cool, but again, it's very themed. So I don't really like put it on a lot of my everyday Sims, just playing like in, I don't know, like playing in like Sunset Valley or something. Like, I don't really use a lot of the futuristic clothing that often, but it is nice to have if you like that kind of gameplay. And I would definitely say check this pack out, especially if you want something new. If you don't have the expansion pack, there's something to like about every expansion pack, every pack in The Sims, but overall I don't really use it that often, and for those reasons I'm going to put it in the okay but category. It's a cool pack. I like having it in my game. I don't go to the future that often. There are really cool things about this. Like, I don't want to give away everything, but there are really cool features. I like how you can have like the neutral future, or like utopia, or like the desolate future. Very cool. Very cool in my opinion. I like the nanites that you can use to make trait chips. Very, very cool. I like the make the most of my time. Lifetime wish. Cool. I like all that stuff. I like the fact that this was called Into the Future. Literally, this pack was the last one for The Sims 3. It kind of gives me that sense of, we're done with The Sims 3 and now we're moving on into the future, The Sims 4. But anyway, that is all that I have for this video. I want to know, I now want to know, okay, how do you feel about this? I don't want to say was I right or was I wrong, because it was my opinion. But how do you feel about it? Did your favorite pack rank in the pristine, or is it in the okay but, or is it in the get it on sale category? How would you rank the expansion packs? I really want to know. So let me know in the comment section down below. But anyway, that's all I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below. Follow me on Twitch because I'm doing Twitch streams. But that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.